So I quickly invite Mr. Dinesh Agrawal to give his deliberation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege and opportunity for me to be here in JIDAS again. This is a beautiful environment where I love to come again and again and interact with the students. The topic today is on the rural development and CSR from the PSU perspective. In fact, why the PSU were created? In the first instance, it was created, I will say, basically for the rural development. Because when it was created, the government thinking was that it will be established in the remote rural area. And another objective was employment generation. The profit was not a motive for the public sector. And as a result of that, most of the public sector industry, like Steel Authority or like power stations or like even BHEL, their projects or industries are all located in the remote rural area. And when they are located in the remote rural area, they do the rural development as well. They build the roads, they build the schools, they build the hospitals, they build the other social infrastructure, which is typically not there in any of the remote rural area. So it has been inherent into the DNA of the public sector to do the rural development. And when we are talk about the CSR today, I don't understand how it is different for the public sector who have been involved in doing the rural development for such a long time. But are we really happy the way public sector have done the development in the rural area? Now if you look at the schools in that location is one of the best schools. You get so many students in IIT from the SAIL townships, anywhere. You talk of the medical facility, that is the best in that area. In the whole district, that will be the best hospital. And in a hospital of the SAIL, Steel Authority, they can do the heart surgery, they can do the brain surgery. Whatever you think of the latest equipment or technology in the area of the medical facility, it's available. There is so much of employment opportunity, so much of economic development that has happened. But are people really happy? Whether we can say the villagers or the villages have been developed, or it was limited to the boundary of the plant, the boundary of the township. And what happens beyond that? I remember in sometime in I think early 80s, there was an article about NTPC, early 80s I am talking, 81 or like that within the township there is a power on a 24-hour basis, and outside the plant boundary there is no power. Now it happens not because of the NTPC, but because the power distribution is in the hands of state government, where NTPC has no role to play and no control absolutely. They are not allowed legally to give even power, 1 kilowatt of power in the neighborhood area. But that's a reality. Within the boundary, within the plant boundary, there is a 24-hour electric supply, and outside the plant boundary, there is no power supply even for 1 hour. So do we say that the industries or the PSU have done the rural development in a proper way? Even if they have created a lot of infrastructure in the rural area, and that's credible, I really appreciate that. You talk of the schools in the remote rural area, the PSUs or the industries have built the schools, health facility, roads, water, sanitation, area electrification and everything. So much so, many a times the state governments run away from that area, or the government runs away from that area. saying that this particular area belongs to the state, this particular PSU for the development work. Let them do the development, we'll use our resources elsewhere. Because the resource constant is always there with the state government and the central government. So they run away. And as a result, what happens? There is a dependency. The villagers become totally dependent, and that creates a dependency syndrome. That means we create a school and the state government is supposed to run it, but it is not run properly. We create all the infrastructure, but it is not maintained. Whose responsibility is that? Those issues comes in the picture. But a greater issue is, I will say, is about the indicators, the goals, the targets. When we have done all the development work till now in the rural area, what have been the goals, indicators and targets? What I mean to say is, in a state of Kerala, one district was declared a fully literate district 25 years back. And today whole state is declared as a fully literate state. 100% literacy. But with the industry, can they claim to even convert one village as a fully literate? They have created the school, they have deployed the teacher, and that's what they say, that's my responsibility is to give the infrastructure. But my responsibility is not based on the indicators. That's a responsibility of the government. So should industry replace the government at all in totality in the area of development when we talk about the development, when we talk about the rural development? Or there is some sort of a convergence where the state government, the local community and the industry can come together on a common platform and decide what is to be done, how it is to be done. Similar to like a human development index, India is quite at a lower level. Do we have any index for the rural development? For a village, we have a master plan for Delhi, we have a master plan for all the big cities. Do we have master plan for any single village? And that's where we face the problem. We do a need assessment survey, we prepare a plan, and that is more or less guided by not the need but the demands of the people. It is driven by the demands. It becomes a political issue because there are no clear guidelines, there are no clear goals, targets, indicators. How far this will continue? Today, every one of you have heard about the Sustainable Development Goals. Everyone has heard. There were Millennium Development Goals which was not so much known, but Sustainable Development Goals everyone is aware of. And today government says that they will also follow the Sustainable Development Goals while doing the planning. The government has realized it. And that is where we have to think of in the rural development. And that is where we have to provide a new thought process even for the PSU. They did an excellent job. That was the need of the hour. Till now they have done much better than any other industry, even better than the government. The area is transformed wherever they are working. But that is not adequate in today's perspective. Because we need clear goals, targets and indicators. And that indicators are like literacy rate, simple. Immunization, whether there is 100% immunization or not. The child and mother care program, all the government programs are there, we know there are programs. The only thing is all those programs and missions we are not converting into the targets and indicators. If we follow the same government targets and indicators given in their missions for the rural development and prepare a master plan for each village, I am sure the type of money we were talking in the morning, maybe 20,000 crore is the CSR money that goes into the rural area, development of the rural area and targeted area around the industries, not anywhere else. Why with this 20,000 crores and with the expertise of the industry? They know how to do the project. They know how to work efficiently and effectively. Unlike the government where it's more of a bureaucratic approach, industry approach is not bureaucratic. That's a big advantage. So the administrative cost becomes much, much less as compared to the government. And then many of the times they do outsourcing. They do outsourcing to the NGO or to the contractors. But with the same outsourcing, if they have a clear indicators, the work will become much more efficient. And that is what is written even in the CSR rules also, in the Company Act. It should be done in the project mode. And project mode is what? We know what is the objective, what is the goal, and whether we have achieved the goal or not. It's a simple thing. And the need assessment survey is also that what is the literacy rate today and how much we want to improve it with our intervention over a period of 3 years. If that is a simple project we prepare and even if we outsource it, we know that today in that area literacy rate is 65%. After 3 years, I want a literacy rate of 75% or 85%. And then we know that we can achieve a 100% literacy rate. For the company, though we are talking only of the CSR or the rural development, but a broader issue will be the issue of the governance. How these projects are to be delivered or addressed. What is the role of the people? Otherwise, if we don't have a clearly defined role for the local villagers and the state government and the company, the expectation, there will be a gap between the expectation and the achievement. The expectation will continue to grow, and that's nothing wrong with that. If we have provided 4 hand pumps and people are happy with that, after 1 year they will demand that no, 4 hand pumps are not adequate. Last year they demanded 4 hand pumps. We provided it, but next year they will say no, these 4 hand pumps are not adequate. Because the aspirations are increasing. But if we have a clarity that what is the ultimate goal for that village, what is the ultimate target, ultimately we have to provide 20 hand pumps, because then it will meet the minimum need program of the government, which says that okay, water should be available within 500 meters. The water availability should be at least 120 liters per capita per day. Now, those are the indicators. And then we can say that okay, this is the minimum development you have achieved. This is how we can say then that okay, in the Human Development Index, we are at the world average level, not below that. And then we are going above that, we can target it. At this moment, we are doing everything without having any clear goals and indicators, and we remain at the bottom almost, 146 or 150 level. Whereas at the same time, other countries which liberated which became independent along with India, maybe in the top 10 or top 20. And how can we do that? Like in NTPC, we created a Village Development Advisory Committee. Now, it's important for the rural development and the CSR. So all the people from the state government, from the local community and from NTPC, they sit together around the table. The need assessment report is presented there. And then we tell them this is the budget and you decide what work is to be done first and what work is to be done next year. Which village needs a first priority, which village needs a second priority. Everything is decided by the villagers. The ownership comes. Along with that, in some project we have done is having a written agreement with the local government or the panchayat, saying that we are building a school as you want it, but it's your responsibility to run it. Then there is a mutual agreement with that. There is a clear ownership. That ensures the sustainability. Otherwise, whatever development work we do, we make the road, after 5 years it gets broken. We put a hand pump, after 2 years the water table goes down. We put a dispensary and the doctor is not there, our medicines are not there. You tell one thing we do and then after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, it's not functioning the way it is desired. And that is because the sustainability is not planned and ensured right from the beginning. So these are the things that is required. And the last thing that is required is the communication. Most of the time, the villagers do not know what work have been done by whom in that area. The industry does the work and some other person will say, no, I got it done. Or some other local politicians will say, leader will come and say, no, I got it done. There's so much of money flowing in the local area. Under the Panchayat Raj, under the state government schemes, under the central government schemes, and from the industries and like that. But communication becomes very important, and which is also a way of having a quality circle. That, okay, plan, do, check and act. That circle has to be completed. So there is a planning, there is a need, there is a requirement, there is a implementation, there is a reporting, and then there is a feedback. That, okay, whatever work we have done, whether we are achieving those goals, targets and indicators. So, as far as the PSUs are concerned, they are doing a wonderful job. They have done a wonderful job till now. They have been contributing to the rural development irrespective of whether they make the profit or not, because it was their mandate.
So we have to.
And under the CSR also they have been doing it, but let's see that how in future we have to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So again, very enlightening insights on rural development, CSR and PSU perspective, and he has raised some serious questions like why PSUs are created, the coordination between PSU and states is required. Indicators should be included in determining the development of the rural development and various other issues.